All right. How you guys doing tonight? Um, Tuna fish sandwich night. Tuna fish sandwich night. So I just dropped a couple off to my little brother. Mmm. That's good. Real good. All right. So what's up? Nah, I don't know. Friday night? I don't know. You lose track on YouTube. I can tell you this much. It's cold out. I can tell you that much. It's very cold out. But I'll tell you what, this tuna fish sandwich tastes great. Let me get another bite here. Well, I think I might have overdid it with the tuna fish. It's kind of oozing out the side. Mm. Mm. Very good. You know what I think I'm going to do? I need to throw in some onion rings into the oven. I need to. I need to. I need to go ahead and. I need to make some onion rings. You know what? I'm going to get onion rings going real quick. I'll be right back in a second. I'll stay live, but I'm going to throw some onion rings in the oven, get them going. So by the time I have another tuna fish sandwich, the onion rings will be ready. Huh? Yeah. I'm out of chips. Onion rings. Do me a favor, keep an eye on this sandwich for me, will you, Bendejo? Tuna fish. Tuna drop D. All right, oven's pre-cooking. Got some onion rings going. So the next sandwich I eat will be with onion rings. That tastes good. You can tune a fish, but you cannot tune a piano. All right, so what's been going on today on YouTube? A lot of interesting stuff going on in the crime case world, crime channel world, which they all turn to drama. And I'm not talking about old drama himself. We know him. But, are the Gabby Petito, are all these cases connected? I believe so, ladies and gentlemen. As much as it hurts my heart to believe that they're not, the more each day we look at these crime cases, the Petito case, the Summer Wells case, the Delphi murders, the MOs are similar, too similar to not to be. I don't know. What are we dealing with here? I don't know. Evil. Pure evil. Pure. Pure. Hold on a minute. I need another bite of this Sammy. This sandwich. Shammy, Shammy, how I love you, Shammy. Mm. That's good. That's good. Mm. Mm. That's good. Mm. So I was watching Miss Grizzly True Crime. You know, what if I'm just throwing things out there. What if the Evansdale girls that were killed in Evansdale, Iowa, or whatever it was, Ohio or Indiana, wherever it is, I forget. There's so many dang crime cases I'm watching. The Evansdale murders of the two little girls. What if they found two girls out there, but it was not the girls they were searching for? You know, there's another place, Evansdale, Iowa, or Indiana, or whatever, wherever it was. I forget now, but in that case, it's so similar to the Delphi case. Other girls have come up missing in that area and within the Evansdale killings. You know, it got me wondering, it got me thinking, are we dealing with somebody that it might be a group of people? And what I mean, a group of people, is these people that are selling child pornography or whatever it is, child photos or porn or whatever. And, you know, it's a proven fact that these people, they also deal in other things, drugs, meth, you know, uh, numerous things, guns, stuff like that. They, you know, it's a racket, and it's just not, it's not like the mob where that guy, you know, they appoint one guy. Okay, you're gonna do numbers, you're gonna run numbers. Okay, and all that mafia guy does is run numbers. That's it. You know, a loan shark or a gambling guy. That's it. That's all he does. He don't monkey with nothing else. But these guys that are, well, wrapped up into these cases, uh, they don't have rules, so they might prostitution, you know, porn or whatever. They might do that because they don't have a boss telling them, hey, this is your job. You're going to do this, and that's it. You know, you're taking care of the gambling, or you're taking care of the women, the prostitution, or whatever. You know, like in the mafia. So when you got these guys that are rogue or loners, and they create these I don't know, clubs, gangs, whatever you want to call it. They cover a lot of ground. One guy might cover a lot of ground. One guy might be selling dope, handling prostitution, and other things, you know, meth and stuff like that. So Is it possible that Keegan Kline knew everybody? Is it possible he knew Anthony Greeno, or Sean Harmon, or any of them guys around there? It's possible. If they were buying cannabis from that, it depends on how big Keegan Kline was. Was he supplying the whole area around there with all his drugs or whatever? And we don't know, you know. But boy, let me tell you something. After watching the Evansdale case, the way the girls were found, the area they were found, boy, so similar to same thing too. They were at both, the Evansdale girls were at their grandmother's, and well, the Delphi girls stayed with their grandmothers too. The case is very similar, and the way they found the girls out in the wilderness. Very similar. Now, here's the thing. Is it possible one of the Evansdale girls are still alive? And they did find two girls out there, but one of them, the bodies didn't match or whatever. But they went ahead and said, well, we found them anyways, because they were already finding people out there dead. There's been other kids that were missing out there in Evansdale, in that area, and you know what gets me is the police always say, well, this is new to us. We just don't have cases like this around. Well, that's funny, because the research that people have been doing and the videos that have been popping up, there were other people that died in Evansdale, Indiana, similar to the way the girls did. And the same thing was down in Delphi. Well, this is a small town and we really don't have stuff like bull crap, because before the girls died, there was other girls that were being killed down there. So is it, you got to use your head. If there's a lot of murders popping up and they're not being solved, and the police and the town is not solving the cases, and it's just a killing field, well, what happens? What do these people start doing? Well, automatically their jobs are at stake, because they're appointed jobs by the citizens to do a job, to be the sheriff, to be a mayor or something of a town, or something, or a trustee or something of a town. And when things like that start happening in a small town or whatever it may be, and things ain't getting done or solved, well, guess who goes? The sheriff, the mayor. Their jobs are on the line. And maybe other people's too, like the coroner, if he keeps getting everything mixed up and making it look like it was an accidental natural death or something, when everybody can see something happened, So here's my thing. Is it possible that they found two girls out in Evansdale, Indiana, but one of them wasn't actually who they thought it was, and it was someone else? And in order to keep things calm and keep their jobs, they lied and said, hey, we found them. Like I told you people in the first place, when all this started, if you have the people in the right place at the right time, anything is possible. Anything is possible, meaning if I have a sheriff at a certain spot in my pocket, if I have a coroner in my pocket, if I have anybody big in my pocket, I can make all of yous look like you died of an accident. Do you get what I'm saying, folks? Do you hear what I'm putting down? Let me put it to you people like you might understand it. Do you smell what The Rock has got cooking? So is it possible? Anything is possible in this world. I'll tell you that much, people. And I do mean anything. Extinction of mankind is possible on this earth. Yes, Bendejo, you took the words right out of my mouth. Avoid Indiana if you want to stay alive. Don't go to Indiana. Yes, for some. Bendejo hit it right on the button. He's good. The kid is good. I'll tell you that much. He's good. So, if we have these people in the right time, in the right place at the right time, anything is possible. Okay? Anything. And of course, the media goes right along with everything else, and it'll pump out that the girls were found when really the girls weren't found, at least not the two girls that they were looking for. So anything's possible. And like I said, these sheriffs, these mayors and stuff, they lose their job. There goes the big money. There goes all the benefits. There goes all the benefits that come with being the mayor or the sheriff of the town or whatever. So there goes all the benefits and perks. Now you have to pay for the prostitutes instead of getting them for free or whatever, I don't know. But anyways, is it possible that they just mistaken the identity of one of the girls, and one of the girls might still be alive? It's possible. When that case first happened, I could have swore that I read that I found one of the girls. But then other people were saying, no, both the girls, okay. Well, was it exactly the girls that they were looking for? Or what are we dealing with? Is it somebody maybe did something and they covered it up, which is very easily done. People say, oh, well, they'd have to identify the bodies or whatever. I don't know. Were the girls identifiable? Or did it take a coroner to do DNA on them and all this and that? Because DNA, well, that can make it look like Ronald McDonald was out there in the hamburger. People just don't know the truth. And I've always searched for the truth. That's why, some people call me Little Johnny Quest. But that's a whole nother video for a whole nother day. But you know what? I'm getting tired of all this stuff. It ain't none of my business. But you always, in the back of your head, you're searching for the truth. The truth is a lot of people have been swindled and bamboozled by these people. And some of these channels. Not all of them. Most of them had good intentions. Some of them just seen dollar signs, and that's all they care about. That's how they make a living. YouTube. Is it possible? Sure it is. But once you become famous, well, now you're answering to a whole nother entity behind the curtain, which you'll never know who the real entity is or what they even look like. But you have to answer to him because, well, He calls the shots. Dang it, I hit the wrong button on the oven. So, what are we dealing with? Well, I think we're dealing with a mess. And I bet you the police are kicking themselves in the butt for ever releasing it to the social media until the case. But it's gone so far now, they might as well release the information they got so we can put two and two together and find these guys. Which, like I said, people were all along, ever since I started this crime interviewing channels and their opinions and the evidence that they had and everything. From day one, I said, no, this ain't one guy, because there's other girls that have come up similar and similar things out there connected with drugs and sex and gangs and all kinds of stuff. So it ain't one guy that did all this. I'll tell you that much. If it was one guy, the FBI and the government is kicking themselves in the butt going, we had this guy on our radar. What happened? Where did it go wrong? Well, they dropped the ball, but it wasn't one guy. There was many involved. The girls had to be lured there somehow. The killer had to know that they were going to be there, or the killer would have killed the dog lady that was walking around, He would have killed the first chance he had, got it over and done with, and left. But nope, he stuck around there and he was waiting for two individuals in the Delphi case. Now, the Evansdale case, well, them girls were just riding around on bicycles in front of their grandmothers, and then the grandma went to go check to see if they were out there, and they were gone. Someone lured them away from the house. So, same thing with the Summer Wells case. What happened? Well, Summer was playing, and then, we got reports. Well, she just disappeared. Well, then someone lured away from the house. If she wasn't dead already, but like I said, same thing with the Moab. The Moab case, the two Moab girls, well, the MOs are starting to match the other killings that were out there. Same thing with Gabby Petito. When she got pulled over by the police, Brian Laundrie panicked. Why? Because the police wanted to charge her, and she would have had to go down to the police station alone without Brian. And I think that scared the heck out of Brian, because Brian Laundrie knew if they got her alone in a room to interrogate her or ask her questions about anything, about Brian or anybody, she would have folded. And the truth would have came out of what was really going on. A killing spree, probably. She was a prisoner. To me, it's terrorism. It's like what it's a form of terrorism. She was a hostage in her own world. And I think if the cops would have got little Gabby down there all alone without Brian, and they would have put the heat on her, I bet you she would have cracked, and she would have told the police, I am a prisoner. This guy is not what he said he was, and he hits me, he does this and that, and oh, by the way, We've been on a killing spree for the past 7 months or whatever we're on the road. And a lot of people are upset at me because I keep telling them, if we find Brian Laundrie, we want to question him on the Delphi case because the MOs are similar. Now, could they be a copycat killer? Could they be a copycat killer running around killing people, staging it like the Delphi? Well, I don't know. It could be. Could be. Anything is possible in a case. That's what I keep telling people, but they say no. All right. You would believe some shocking stuff if you knew the truth in some of these cases. But that's a whole nother video for a whole nother day. YouTube is just like any other channel, any other business, any other thing. If they can make money, they will. They'll do that. And they will blackball people. And they will blackball channels. And they will create so much drama and illusions, mainly brought on by meth. And some of these people are, So it's pretty funny how no one knows nothing, but yet in the video I heard, you can hear somebody in the background of the Delphi girls screaming or saying something. So, but they haven't released that much. But you got to really listen to the video. You can hear it. It's much like the Kurt Cobain video when they videotaped El Duce. And after they got done listening to that video, you can hear a girl in the background screaming, "Help me, help me." Somebody help me. That's what the lady that was being held captive was screaming after you heard the video, and you know, it's on there. I heard it myself. Hold on a second. I got to put onion rings in the oven. Oh, them onion rings were good. They definitely were good. So, is it possible they found 2 girls out there in Evansdale and they weren't the girls they were actually looking for, but they were pressured or whatever to solve the case? Same thing with Delphi. They're pressured to solve the case. It's been 5 years. Well, the Evansdale murders were solved in 5 months. I do agree with Miss Grizzly, True Crimes. I agree with her. It is eerie how the Evansdale girls and the Delphi girls succumbed to death. The area is very similar, looks similar. There's a river running through it. It's very similar. So I do agree that there is some kind of connection there between them cases. And I'm starting to find out that this is going across the USA. What is it? The only explanation I got is it is a ring, an organization. To do that much damage and that fast, and these bodies scattered all over the place, especially the Gabby Petito case, where I told them keep looking. You're going to find a lot more bodies out there probably. It's been going on for a while, and boom, they found 6 girls out there, 7 girls and 2 guys. So, yeah, I agree that there's probably more out there. And there's probably more out in Delphi, in that wooded area out there. It was probably a place where they dump bodies. Or do sick stuff. Why? Because there's no surveillance. There ain't no surveillance out there. There's no security. So they know if they get out there, there ain't going to be nobody out there, especially if it's real late at night. That there won't be anybody out there because there's no surveillance, there's no patrol, there's no nothing. The Delphi Bridge will be coming down, whether the government likes it or not. People want the bridge taken down. We're not that dumb. We can see that these people want more children to go out to the Delphi Mohan bridge. Ain't it a coincidence? You got the Moab girls and the Mohan, Moab. It's little things like that you put together that we might be dealing with a big group. Somebody running a big group of guys. Somebody controlling a big group of guys and women. It's obvious these women were. I wonder if there's any connection to the dating sites with the 7 women, or how many women they found out there around Gabby Petito's area where she died. How many of these girls were on dating sites is what I'm wondering. And like I've said before, I know I've seen little Gabby Petito's photo. The one her wearing that wool hat for like winter. It's like a Carhartt hat. And the one with the butterflies on a dating site. So is it possible maybe they were being held as hostages? It's possible. It is possible. It is definitely possible. Whenever I see a video of her and Brian, it's like she's a hostage or whatever. And you know what? I wouldn't doubt it if they were a team. Maybe she was part of it, and then finally couldn't handle it no more and was cracking. Maybe she didn't know anything about it, and maybe after she seen the media of the Moab girls, she put 2 and 2 together and she wanted out, but she was so far in deep. There was no, Brian ended up killing her, because if she did get away and put 2 and 2 together, he would have got caught. And, I did see in the police video when they did pull Gabby over and Brian that they were talking about they were a team. And it's funny how these scratches on his face that were fresh never bled. The scratches I seen looked like they were healed up from maybe a day or two, couple days. Meaning, was it possible that he killed the Moab girls and one of them fought back? scratched his eye up. They took off after they killed him. The scratch started healing. There was no blood on his shirts, but yet he was telling the police that it just happened. The scratches on his face just happened from Gabby, and that's why they swerved, because she was hitting him or scratching him in the eye, and they swerved, and that's why the police pulled him over. But yet the scratches on his face that looked pretty dang deep above his eye and around his eye and on his hands that were supposed to be fresh, that just happened, never bled. Did any of you ever even pick up on that? No, I don't think any of you did. Them scratches on his face were already healed, meaning they happened way before him and Gabby got in a fight on the road and he got pulled over. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. All right, I got 25 minutes till my next tuna fish sandwich and onion rings are done. So that told me that was a lie that they were pumping out there. The reason she was hysterical in the back of that car is I think maybe she thought they were busted. That maybe they caught on to Brian was a killer, and possibly, maybe either Gabby knew about it or she didn't have any idea about it and she put 2 and 2 together. And after they got caught and got pulled over by the police, she finally realized that she was in too deep, and she probably got in an argument with Brian, I'm leaving or whatever. And I would imagine Brian said, no, you're not going nowhere, and killed her and covered it up. Or my other theory is there's a reason why there's so many people that look like Brian Laundrie. You know, today there was a video put out that somebody spotted Brian Laundrie in an area. So is it possible the real Brian Laundrie wasn't the guy killing, but it was actually the FBI agent that everybody says looks just like Brian Laundrie, that was all dressed up in a FBI agent uniform out there? Remember when they had to take the parents to the Everglades out there, or the to look for Brian or whatever? And everybody was like, wait a minute, that's Brian. And well, you know, everyone was like, oh, that's not Brian. It's an FBI agent that looks like Brian. Well, that's funny because, boy, everybody is popping up lately that looks like Brian Laundrie, ain't it? And there's only one need for something like that, is if somebody's doing something they shouldn't be doing, they have a lot of lookalikes. Or he might be a prince of a country, or he might have been a son of someone big somewhere or something or whatever, but it ain't adding up. I ain't buying it. And like I said, we're still looking for Brian Laundrie. And I think the dog is too. Can I get a bow wow? Whoop, whoop. That's what I'm saying. So I'm not believing everything they say because they don't want you to know the truth. How would it be if, you know, the American people found out that the FBI agent was prostituting out kids or whatever, or had some dating site going where, you know, I don't think it'd be pretty good. But then again, that would go back to like the Secret Service and everything, when they found out that the Secret Service were sleeping with prostitutes and all this and that back a while back. You know, it wouldn't doubt it. It wouldn't shock me at all. But all I can say to you folks out there in YouTube land is it possible to pull off any of the theories that I've told you? Yes, it's very possible. More possible than you people would even think. But who's going to believe me? Well, not too many people, because they're not in the business of believing. They're in the business of making money and keeping their organization running so they can keep money coming in. Now everybody knows to become one of these people, part of their organization, what do you have to do? Well, mostly you have to kill somebody. It's called, well, the mob calls it making your bones. But it's the same thing in any gang, club, group, organization. What do you have to do? You have to kill somebody, an innocent person, or somebody that the club, gang, organization, whoever it may be, wants dead. Then you become one of them, you know. It's like a gang, you know. You have to get jumped in or whatever. Some people jump in, some gangs, they want you to commit a murder and they want to see it on the news the next day to prove that you did the murder or whatever, you know. So that's how they operate. Why? I don't know. This secret thing, gangs, whatever. It was never for me. Foolish me. Ain't I the idiot? I was the idiot that had half a brain, a disability, but went to work with my hands and mind to make a living, you know? Only if I knew, I could have been a millionaire by now by just doing bad things. I'm in the wrong business. Bendejo says, don't get jumped into the Masons. You have to make a coffee table. That's okay. I can make a coffee table. You know, that'd be all right. Make me a coffee table. All right. Give me a couple minutes. I've been retired for a while. Give me a couple minutes. Let me push aside the bong water and the bear hops and the rum and cokes and you know, let me get that out of my brain and I'll build you a coffee table. Do you want this coffee table to be epoxied or just varnished, uh, oil rubbed? You know, what kind of finish do you want on it? But as I always said before, we're dealing with many people, not one, and that's what screwed the case up for so long. Was they were looking for only one person in the Delphi case. And although it might have been one person that killed the girls, maybe, I don't think so. I think there had to be a group of people there. Although there might have been one person that did the killings, there had to be others there for lookouts to lure them there, whatever it may be. Meaning that there was more than one person involved. How are you today? I'm okay, ma'am. How are you doing? Hello? Well, she hung up. Fine, you want to be ignorant like that and just hang up on me. But oh God. I'm telling you what, I'm done with these cases. These cases have already been solved. I don't know what they're doing. They owe me a lot of money. We already solved them. Hold on, let me hit this. So we'll let all these YouTubers come up with all their theories, and it was the man on the moon. Yeah, I would believe it if you show me the proof and the DNA was there. That was Blair White. No, it wasn't. If it's Blair White, she'll come out, and she's been on my channel. Sometimes she's, you know, sometimes she's adorable. She acts like she's a man sometimes. She'll come in here as Stephen Scott, and sometimes she'll come in as herself and stuff. It don't bother. She's allowed here. He's allowed here. They're both allowed. Whoever she is today, she's allowed here. No, it wasn't Blair White. It's a collage. It's a kaleidoscope, these cases. So be safe. Most of these people that are supposedly so-called interviewers or investigators are actually have rap sheets longer than both of my arms put together. Uh, and they still are affiliated with their gangs or whatever it is. And that's how they're getting this stuff done. That's how these guys are, you know. Most of them are out there acting. They're talking like they have accents, but they're really not. They're right here in the United States, but they act like they're all the way over in some other country or something. When really they're right here in the United States. So it's technology. It's good, but when technology is put out for the citizens to use, uh, well, you have to understand that that technology can now be used to do damage to people. And like we've said before, we always thought that the girls might have been lured. Something fishy was about this case from the word go with the Delphi killings, and they might have been lured there, much like the Evansdale girls were lured away from their house. We don't know. Yeah. But I'm sure they'll find out who it was and what the deal was and all this and that. Like I said, I feel for some people because some of these people got sucked into it and were innocent people, had nothing to do with it. There's nothing you could do. Their faces got, their photos got stolen and whatever. There's nothing they could do. The police know that. They're not dumb. They can tell when somebody's communicating with somebody constantly, and it's not just somebody stole the photo or whatever. But hey, what can you do? There's nothing you could really do about it. Hunker down. I'm sure these cases will be coming to an end pretty soon, but I think it's bigger than what the police originally thought. Once they started getting into the phones and getting on the YouTube and Gabby's computer or phone or whatever, I think Gabby was dead for a while. And I think Brian Laundrie was using her phone and acting like her, posing as her, or somebody was, and she was dead a while. They're saying up to a month, maybe a month and 3 weeks that she was out there dead. So it all makes sense. And I believe there's probably a lot more into it than we're being led on. You know, what happened with the Moab girls? I don't know. They seen Brian and Gabby. They were arguing that day. Uh, did Gabby and Brian know the Moab girls before that day? I don't know. It could have been, they could have talked to each other through social media. They both were Vanners. It's very well that the Moab girls could have seen Gabby Petito on social media and contacted them way before, come out and see us. We're here at this place. I work here. You can eat. We don't know. We'll have to get all the information from the police. Is it possible they did know each other before they killed each other? Sure. Is it possible that Brian Laundrie and Gabby got drugs from him? Maybe it was a bad deal or something, and they killed him and then took off. Sure, it is. Anything is possible. Now, I know what a lot of people are saying. Well, you're just throwing theories out. You have no proof on nothing. Nah, we do, because the ballistics and the MOs match, meaning the way they killed their prey, the way they killed them is similar, even to a crime that happened 2012. We're talking, that was what, 10 years ago, 2012, 11 years ago. So is it possible that one man by himself did all this damage and killings? I don't think so. I think it had to be a group of them working together or something. You put mayonnaise in tuna fish, Bendejo. Unless you're making tuna fish tacos. If you're making tuna fish tacos, then you put taco seasoning in it. But if you're making tuna fish sandwiches, you put mayonnaise in it. Now Bendejo wants to know, why do drug deals always go bad? Well, not all drug deals go bad, Bendejo. Not all of them do. Most of them don't. But there are ones that do. And the reason they go bad is either because the quantity or the quality of the drug ain't right, or the weight ain't right, or some of them just get ripped off, meaning they show up to do a drug deal, they give the money to the person, and the guy kills them or whatever. And I've seen that in cases where the guy wasn't even a drug dealer. He said he was and told people to show up there. They did. He said, you got the money. They gave him the money, and then he killed them, took the money. He wasn't even a drug dealer. Posers is what they call them. So not all drug deals go bad, and it's depending on who you're dealing with. If you're dealing with someone you knew through the neighborhood or whatever, and they know you, 9 out of 10 times you're not going to end up dead. Maybe a black eye or beat up or whatever, or you get your money taken from you. But if they're known in town and everything, the town drug dealer, and everybody went to school with them and all this and that, well, I'd have to say 7 out of 10 or whatever, or maybe 6 out of 10 get killed. It's all dependent on who you're dealing with. Just mayo and seasoning, or herbs, or pickles, or onions and garlic and mustard on tuna fish? No, I've seen sweet relish put in tuna fish. I've seen salt and pepper put in tuna fish salad. I've even seen onions put in tuna fish, but I just made regular old tuna fish sandwiches. Now, sometimes if I'm feeling spunky, Bendejo, I'll make a tuna fish sandwich, right? I'll put it in the oven and I'll put cheese on it. And now I got a tuna melt. Now I got a tuna melt, Bendejo. Yeah, you put a little bit of tuna fish on one piece of bread and a piece of cheese. Uh, then you put that in the oven with the other piece of bread with a little bit of tuna fish on it in the oven, and then sit there and they cook and they get dark and they start bubbling. Then you pull it out and you flip the one piece over onto the other, and now you got toast with cheese, tuna, and goodies. Yum, yum. I got to check my onion rings real quick. Hold on a second. Hot, hot. Yeah, I got garlic right now in my fridge, Bendejo. I got a whole clove of garlic. Johnny, have you ever in your life purchased actual garlic? Yeah. I got minced garlic right now in my refrigerator, and I got cloves, the big giant cloves. Do you want me to show it to you so that you have proof, Mendejo? You want me to show you a clove of garlic? I don't know why these people think I lie. There's no money in lying. Well, unless if you're corrupt, I guess there is. There is if you're corrupt, but why would I lie about something like that when I'm not the one being investigated or ever been brought up in a murder case or anything? There's no reason for me to lie about nothing. People are, you must be on the run. No, I've been in the same spot for the past, I don't know how many years. I'm not running from nobody or nothing. Why, I don't know why people think that. They always think that. I'm pleasantly surprised your tuna is boring and bland. It's just got mayonnaise, salt, and pepper on it. Mayonnaise, salt, pepper. Sometimes I toast the bread and put a piece of cheese on it. Sometimes I don't. I'm sorry, Bendejo. I didn't know this was a cooking event. If you would have told me that you were going to be here, I would have cooked up some real good tuna fish for you with some chopped up jalapenos in it, some shredded taco cheese on top of it, with a dash of lemon pepper in it. Next time, tell me, you want me to shock and awe you with my food. Did I tell you, Bendejo, that I got voted on a channel with the best meats of YouTube? Well, when I go into all these channels that I sub to, I feed them. Meaning I bust out the turkey legs, the ham bones, the tacos, the the French fries, the hamburgers, the pies, and everything. And I feed all these people. Well, rumor has it that Johnny Kramer got first place in the who would be voted with the best meats to show off their meats in a chat room on YouTube. No, I won first place. I got it. See, I go in, you got to treat these ladies and these people like it's a gathering at your house. When I go into a chat room, people are like, "It's Johnny. What do you got today for food?" I'm like, "What do you ladies want? Are you interested in some maybe Chinese?" And I'll throw the Chinese up, the boxes, uh, you know, some I get most of the. You got any fries, popcorn? Oh, I got fries, and I'll pop up the fries. You know, I'll take a burger and a fry, Johnny, and I always tell them we got cheeseburger, no Coke, Pepsi. And then all these, that's SNL. Are you from Chicago? I am from Chicago. Nah. I go ahead and I pop up. And then if they're really hungry, I'll be like, ladies, here you go. Which I'll demonstrate real quick, you know. If they're really feisty and there's a bunch, believe me, some of these chat rooms are filled with beautiful women. And when they get hungry, they want their food. So I'll bust out, hey, ladies, I got a new ham bone for you, and I'll bust out the ham bone and they'll all start getting, Johnny, your ham bone looks good. It's a good ham bone. And that's what I do. Crack jokes, make fun, feed them. And these women, they love it. That's what you had to do. If they were here right now, I'd probably be doing the same thing. Are you ladies hungry? You want some food? I'd bust out the food for them. You want something to drink? What do you do? I don't know, but I got voted best food guy. I got guys coming to me in chat rooms wanting to know if they can work for me as a food guy. God, I don't know. That's what you do. That's what I do. I do what I do. I do the best I can. I'm dumb, and I always tell them I'm the dumb one. I'm the one with the disability. I got papers to prove it, and doctors. Oh God. But my onion rings are done, so I'm going to make me another tuna fish here in a few minutes. I'm going to have some onion rings with that. Now, if I wanted to get crazy, Bendejo, I can throw these onion rings right on top of that tuna fish and then make a sandwich out of it. Tuna fish onion ring sandwich. But there's only so much you could do with tuna fish. You can only use it in a taco. You can only use certain ingredients with tuna fish. I've never had it with mustard, but you know what? I wouldn't put it past anything. No, I've had tuna fish with crackers crumbled up in it, which is really good. Tuna fish with onions in it, tuna fish with olives in it, tuna fish with jalapeno and cheese in it. But there's only certain stuff you could do with tuna fish, and then with tuna fish salad, I should be saying. The tuna fish salad sandwich, that's what it is. It's just tuna fish mixed with mayonnaise, put on a piece of bread, and there you go. I mean, if you're hungry, Bendejo, Here, here's a couple for you, Bendejo. All right, take them. Take them sandwiches. Feed your face. Enjoy. There you go. On the house, Bendejo. They're on the house. So that's what I do when I go into these chat rooms. I'm always polite. I don't curse. I always go into these chat rooms. I sit back. I feel out the crowd, the chat room, see what's going on. If there's other people in there joking around and joking around with the person that owns the channel or whatever, and it's a big party inside of them, then I joke around with them and start cracking jokes and stuff like that. But, I always sit back first and, I always ask, am I invited? If I'm not invited to that chat room, then sometimes I won't go into that chat room and I won't, but I've never been denied out of a chat room before. So, but most of the time, well, people like to accuse me of anything. They really do. Well, it's the name, the Kramer name automatically brings money. So automatically they want to try and get you for every penny they can, and they will. They'll try and suck everything out of you. It's happened to me. They'll run your name through the ringer, and then they'll come to you and say, "You gonna pay that money?" No. No. All right. Yeah. Be prepared for more of it. Go ahead, run my name through the ringer. Yeah. I don't give a crap. You can say I'm the one that did all these killings or whatever. I don't care what these people say. The proof is in the pudding. And it's obvious. The police are upset because somebody called the police and had them come here, and they wanted to search this whole place. And I was polite. I went ahead and told them, you know what? The first time I'm going to let you in without a warrant. Look around. Next time you come here, you best have a warrant and you best find what you're looking for. Because if you don't, I will make sure that you hear from my lawyers. And they got a lot of money and they're big guys. And usually that stops after the first time. They come here, don't find nothing. Then they figure out that they were pranked. They were led on a goose chase. And that pisses them off even more. So, like I said, I got nothing to hide. If the FBI wants to come here to my apartment, be my guest. Come here. If the president wanted to come here, be my guest. You come here. But you best find what you came here to look for, because if you didn't, well, you're going to be hearing from my lawyers. And I know what you're saying. Well, they passed a law. You can't. I'm not talking about going into the court of law. You'll be hearing from my lawyers. And that usually gets them to stop. They don't monkey with me. But then again, I don't have nothing to hide. So it's only somebody that has something to hide that is going to not let the police come in. If the police came here knocking and said, "Hey, we want to talk to you. Can we come in?" Sure. I think they were kind of shocked because I did tell them they can come on in here, but they're like, "No warrant." No. Come on in. You want to look? I'm not hiding nothing. You want to come in, look for whatever these people say is going on here. Be my guest. The first time is free. The second time, you'll be hearing from my lawyers. I got nothing to hide. It's only the killers It's only the people that are doing bad things that have things to hide. I don't. So they left. And by the time they left, one of the cops was laughing. So, yeah, I'm not worried about it. Are you worried? No, why would I be worried about it? I'm not a criminal. You know, these people got hit by a smooth criminal, baby. There ain't nobody that knows what's up. You know, you've been hit by, you've been hit by, you've been hit by a smooth criminal. Bam, bam, dun, 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 dun. Billy, can you hear me? Billy, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Billy? Billy, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Billy? I don't know, whatever the lyrics are. You've been hit by, you've been hit by, you've been hit by a smooth criminal. Dun, 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 dun. They can say whatever. They can accuse me of whatever. I like when they show up here and I act like I'm a mafia guy. Emeramente, stamatente. Cremientonci, emerente. What'd he say? I don't know, but this guy must be a big mafia guy. Emermente, maramicente, morincerele. What did he say? I think he said he's going to kill all of us. My God, I didn't know this guy was mafia. Yeah. And then they're like, your neighbor's like, he's not mafia. What do you mean? He's in there talking like he's an Italian mafioso. Yeah, that's just it. That's what he does. He likes to act a lot. I don't know. Why not? So I got nothing to hide. If they want to come here, come here. Now, if they want to come here and try and shake me down, that ain't going to happen no more. I had one cop come in here. He picked up my Kramer guitar in the case. Yeah, I'll talk to you later. I'm like, where are you going with that? You can put that down. What if I grab this and start? Well, yeah, I don't know. What if I broke a finger real quick? You know, what if I killed you with a blade of grass that they taught me in Little Gedane? But anyways, that's a whole nother video and movie for another day. Listen, the cops are good cops around here. They know me. They know I'm not a criminal or a killer. They know I'm not on the run. I've been here for a long time, and I've been into Chicago. And that's about it, folks. You know, all the other crap you read about on YouTube and social media or whatever, or Google, is lies. Made up. I Googled my name, and I guess I was married 192 times. I don't know how, but that's what they said. I'm like, I'm only 50. How can I have been married 190 sometimes? I have no idea. Fake information, whatever. Somebody trying to, I must have struck a vein with somebody and they made up all kinds of lies. I don't know what to say. I don't know. Believe me, you'll know if anybody is what they claim they are on YouTube, these people would be in prison, in jail, But you can't believe everything on YouTube or social media or the internet, that alone. When I believe something, I wait for CNN. If I see it on CNN, if Matt Lauer, or not Matt Lauer, if John Lemon is talking about it, or Cuomo, then I know it's real. If I turn on CNN and it's just flashing underneath the bulletin or whatever, such and such is dead, then I know it's real. Other than that, I don't believe anything pretty much anymore. Anyone tells me. When people have played mind games with you for so long, you just become a cold person. You don't believe nothing. You believe when you can see it with your own eyes or whatever. You know. So do I believe anything on YouTube? Not too much. Not unless I can see it with my own eyes. Then I'll believe it. But as I once said before, all these cases are similar MOs. And in order for all these cases to be similar in the MOs and happen in such a great span of area and distance apart, that would have to tell me that it's a traveling ring. Maybe they don't travel. Maybe they just sit and wait. They get a call. There's going to be some people coming into your town or whatever. Is it possible? Sure it is. If these people only knew how crazy America really is and what kind of devious, evil shit is out there, they would be shocked. And the proof is in the pudding. If you don't believe me, listen to the El Duce recordings of the interview of him talking about Courtney Love wanting to pay him $50,000. He was talking to the interviewers right in his front yard. And in that video, you can hear a young lady screaming for her life. She was being held captive. But that's what El Duce was into. Sexual stuff like that. I don't know what they call it. S&B or S&M or whatever, where they chain the girls up or whatever and do sick stuff to them or whatever. That's what they were into. I guess that guy's whole group was into stuff like that. And El Duce was in a band, a punk band that was nuts. Supposedly they were crazy. Now, am I saying El Duce's the one that tied up that girl or whatever, or was holding someone hostage as they were doing an interview in their front yard? Well, it's possible. From what I heard the woman's voice on there screaming for help. You know what was funny about El Duce? Most guys would have said, "I'll do the interview, $500 or $1,000, a couple $100 or whatever, and I'll do the interview and tell you what I know." It's all about the money. With El Duce said, "Yeah, I'll do the interview, but make sure you bring me a 12-pack of beer." So he did the interview for a 12-pack of beer. That's funny. That's funny stuff. Most dudes, yeah, I'll do the interview. Give me $1,000 and you can come over and interview me or whatever. El Duce, now get me a 12-pack or a case of beer and I'll sit down and tell you what I know. That's funny stuff. That's a true partier there. He didn't care about the money. It was the alcohol he wanted. So, believe me, I've been watching enough of these cases and investigating them and all this crap and everything that was going on with that case with the Cobain and other cases. And well, when you're on lockdown for COVID for 2 years, what, that's all I had to do was watch YouTube. The government calls me, they say you're on lockdown. We don't want you out. There's a virus going around. You can get sick. You can die. You're on lockdown. Stay home. All right. I did what I was told. I stayed home. I went to the store and that was it. Come back home. If I had to go do some raking leaves for somebody and make a couple bucks or watch dogs, I did that, came right home. If I had to go to Guitar Center, I'd go to Guitar Center and come right home. Always with a mask and always with hand wipes. So I did what I was told. So I had 2 years to watch videos, and I watched a lot of videos on all kinds of stuff. Good God, I could build me a cabin out in the middle of the woods if I wanted to. That's what they do. We're supposed to be law-abiding citizens. If the government says we're on lockdown, there's a deadly virus, all right. We're on lockdown. If the government says we're being invaded by a country and we're going to have to go to war, all right, we're going to war. Whatever, we just do as we're told. That's about it. That's all we can do. What else can you do? There's nothing you can do. In which we are getting ready for another shutdown here pretty soon because that dang variant or whatever is popping up all over the place again. And I don't know. Crazy stuff. But I'll tell you this, these cases are all connected, similar. Even the Evansdale girls, they're all similar. There's one thing that's connecting them all, and that's the MOs that are similar. So could it be one guy doing all this havoc? I don't think so. You'd have to be pretty dang good to do something like that, or you would have to have cover to do something like that. And what I mean by cover is you would need somebody on the inside to make things disappear. For it to be one guy to do all this damage to these kids and young ladies like Gabby Petito and the Moab girls and the 6 other girls that they found out there in Utah. You would have to have somebody on the inside covering your tracks, and I don't see that happening. I just don't see it. I think it's a big ring of people, all connected through social media, possibly dating sites, possibly the killer's helpers themselves right on YouTube. Meaning these people that have these YouTube channels are actually a front. And they're actually helping people evade the law and escape or send people in a different direction, a diversion, which is very good and used a lot in the government and military, which trickled down into the gangs, organizations, secret societies, yada, yada, yada. So in order for it to be one guy, he would have to be pretty dang good. And I would have to say it's possible that he had military training or some kind of government training to fly under the radar for this long and not get caught. And the only other way for one guy to do all this damage with all these murders of these kids and everything and fly underneath the radar is that guy would have to have somebody high up cleaning up behind him, a cleanup team that comes in and cleans up the situation, whether it be with lies, deceptions, or getting rid of bodies or whatever, or cleaning up the mess. So I ruled out one guy because there's no way one guy did all this damage. Now, he might have called the shots, okay, but he actually didn't do the murders. I don't know if that makes sense to you folks. I don't know. But my onion rings are done. I'll be back later. I got more YouTube to watch. Hey, if anyone's out there and you guys know Sean Harmon's son, the YouTube channel, I haven't seen a video out on him or from him in about 3 weeks. So I don't know where he's been. I haven't seen him. He hasn't been in my chat. Usually he stops in my chat. But I haven't seen Sean Harmon's son put out a video in about 3 weeks. So somebody check on him. Make sure he's all right. He might have pissed off Sean Harmon, and Sean Harmon got to him and gave him a wet willy in the butthole. I don't know. That's how they give wet willies these days, I guess. I know what some of you are saying. Wet willies are supposed to be given in your ear. Yeah, I know, but these are prison guys, so they do it a different way. So if any of you guys do know Sean Harmon's son's YouTube channel, check and make sure he's okay. I haven't seen a video out on him in 3 weeks. I mean, he was pumping them out there for a while, but all of a sudden it came to a halt. And, like I said, we got to be careful as law-abiding citizens of these guys. Because, you listen to some of these guys in the channels and they're all mixed up into this gang stuff or heroin or meth gangs. It don't take nothing for them to say this guy's getting too close or whatever. Can you take care of him or whatever? And then we got people trying to kill viewers on YouTube. So you have to be safe. You have to be safe. Am I going to kill nobody? No, I will protect myself, but going out and kill. But last time when I was in jail, long time ago, it wasn't fun. And it must have changed dramatically because these guys, well, they just love it. It's no big deal to them. They go in there. I guess they got TVs, phones, women that come in and have sex with, all kinds of stuff, drugs, guns. I don't know about you boys, but I love my freedom. Not like I said, I'll protect somebody, but deliberately going out to kill somebody for no reason, no, sorry. I love my freedom too much. You couldn't pay me enough, which they're pissed off about that because they did offer me a lot of money. But that's a whole nother video for another day, You have to be careful with some of these people. You really do. You don't know what they're wrapped into or who they're wrapped up with. And the next thing you know, you're just a viewer commenting in their chat. And the next thing you know, you piss somebody off or you don't agree with their story. And the next thing you know, you're getting phone calls like I do 24/7 a day. I got people telling me we're watching you. Well, you can watch all you want. I've been watched my whole life. We're taking photos. I had someone come into my chat one time and say we're taking photos of you. Take photos all you want. I've been having photos taken of me since I was a young teenage, tan, blonde-haired, fit, six-pack dude. You know, it's no biggie to me. I'm used to it. You know, take all the photos you want, take all the video you want, do whatever you want. But like I said, I hope my lawyers don't find you. So there you go. These cases are pretty much over with, but we are looking for more people that are affiliated with the people that we've caught. So it's an ongoing case. That means it's not over yet, although we got some of them in jail, in prison. The case is still going on. There is many. There are many. There are many of Brian Laundries. There are many Keegan Kleins. There are many Brian Laundries, and there's many of them. There's many of these people. Many. Not one. Many. And that's the way they got to start looking at these cases like that. Is it's too much of a coincidence that you know a lot of people get pissed. I commented, you know what, they could have been killing and stealing from people from the day they left Florida all the way up to Utah and all the way back. It could have been a killing spree the whole way there and the whole way back. And a lot of people are pissed and, well, that's impossible. No, nothing is impossible. When you live in a country with freedoms that we have, nothing is impossible. So do I think it's possible that from the time they left Florida and drove all the way to Utah, all they did was kill and steal from people or whatever? It's possible. Like I told these people before, I want to question them on the Delphi murders because the MOs are similar. You know, the girls being found naked, undressed partially, undressed partly. They're similar. Is it possible that Brian Laundrie was killing people at a young age, as a young teenager? 5 years ago, he was killing people. Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. How old is he now? 22, 23 years old or whatever? How old is he? There's people out there, I've seen videos that said Brian Laundrie was in his 30s. Then there's videos out there saying, no, he was only 23 or something like that. Okay. Well, if he was 23, the Delphi murders only happened 5 years ago. So he would have been a teenager. 18, 19 years old or whatever, licensed, able to drive. Is it possible? Anything is possible. Where was Don Wells and Candace on February 13th, 2017? People are pissed at me because I'm asking these questions. Where were they? Well, why do you want to know, Johnny? Well, because I want to know if they were anywhere near Delphi, Indiana, 2017, February 13th. If these people have charges of similar crimes, well, then we should be questioning them about crimes that are fitting the MOs that they've done. Now, I know a lot of people are saying you've lost your rocker, and maybe that's what you people have done to me on YouTube. I don't know for how many years. All I did was play guitar and put cover songs out. That's it. I didn't even go live. I made the videos right here and then uploaded them to my YouTube channel. Didn't ever go live. Ever since I started going live, been a pain in the butt. And I'm going back to playing music and doing skits or whatever, or writing or music, recording music and stuff. This crime case crap is for the birds. It really is. Yeah, it really is. Good God. Oh, Bendejo says my restaurant is called Meet and Greet. Johnny's Meet and Greet. Not a bad, not a bad name for a restaurant. Johnny's Meet and Greet. But then again, I would have to sell meat, and then I would have to be there and greet them all the time. So, but it is a good name, Bendejo. You know, I was on Anthony Greeno's channel earlier trying to talk some sense into him to turn himself in, but they got pissed at me and chased me out of there. And all I did was tell him, turn yourself in. If it's true, what these people are saying, and there's a warrant out for your arrest, Greeno, turn yourself in. You're making it worse. I'm trying to help the kid. Turn yourself in and get it over with. And get back to making your videos. But the longer he runs, the longer they're going to keep him in, his charges will be worse. And he's a talented kid. Well, I keep calling him a kid. I think he's 30 some years old. He's still a kid if you talk to the old timers. I got old timers telling me I'm still a kid. I'm like, I'm 50 something years old. You're a kid. You got an old man's body and a baby's brain, kid. All right. Ah. All right, folks, I'm going to cut this video off here pretty soon here. My onion rings are done. And they had me another tuna fish sandwich with some onion rings. They were pretty good. The onion rings are good. The tuna fish is good. It's all good. you know. And like I said, folks, be safe because these people, they will try and suck you into a war that you have nothing to do with. It's happened to me. Even the drug wars of 1990, whatever it was, and stuff. You know, they tried to suck me into that until the police came forward and said, "No, you idiots. We know exactly where he is." And and it wasn't him, you idiots. I was laughing my butt off. Well, though, everyone thought I was dead from hometown, from my hometown in Illinois and everything, because I left when I was younger. After I got out of high school, I went to work. I left my little hometown or whatever and ventured out and worked. And no one's ever heard from me, and everybody thought I was probably dead. Because when I was younger, I was known to party. I was known to be, I was known to put them down pretty good. The booze and the candy was all over. So, I was known to be a partier. Everybody probably thought he probably OD'd and died or drank himself to death or whatever. But no, I went to work. I straightened my life out, and I'm alive. A lot of people are like, "That ain't the real Johnny Kramer." Oh, I am, and I got proof because there's people on my Facebook that I recently became friends with, and they were asking, "Is that really Johnny Kramer? The Johnny Kramer? That's him." I am the real Johnny Kramer. A lot of people are pissed off about it. A lot of them tried to kill me. A lot of them tried to do a lot of things, but I'm alive. Always have been. Gonna stay alive as long as I can in this jungle called the USA. Ah. Now let's get them drones flying in the air. It's time. It's time for the drones. I know everyone's scared. Everybody, they're aliens. No, nobody's going to come and probe you in the middle of the night. Nobody's going to do anything to you. They're drones. They're made to protect America and the citizens. And they will apprehend the bad guy. Why the good guys sit back with their families and are home every night. The drones will be out on the street fighting crime. I know a lot of people are saying this is out of the robot movie back in 19 RoboCop. We had drones before RoboCop came along. Is it similar to RoboCop? Yes. Yes, it is. But we had this ideal since I was a kid. All came from radio controlled airplanes. That my father, he was a great man, was real big into the radio control. Uh, Planes, boats, tanks, ham radios, all that stuff. And I want to thank him because he really paved the way to our military drones and our new drones coming. So, is it possible to have an army of drones? Yes. Is it possible that this army of drones will save human life? Yes. Is it possible that these drones can patrol a school and keep that school safe? Yes, it is possible. It's possible for this country to be very safe. But in order to become that safe, where our kids can go back out into the streets and play, where they can go back to school and not be scared that they're going to get in a fight with somebody or get beat on or raped or shot or killed. Well, they can get back to being kids and learning in school. And if that kid feels comfortable in school, he's going to learn more. And I don't know if you people know it or not, but this country is lagging in technology. And they're pissed because we don't build nothing. And I keep telling them, well, if we're going to build it here, it's going to be expensive. Because that guy working in that factory over there has been there 20, 30 years. And he's making $25, $30 an hour. And it costs more because we got to pay the people what they're worth. So it costs us more to produce things in America. Well, for one, we don't have the resources. But for two, the pay scale is high. So in order to pay everybody in the business to make a dollar, we got to charge more. So that's why a lot of people are pissed. Well, because we can have it built cheaper in another country. Well, we can build it here. Okay, if you can build it here in America for the price that China or Japan or someone can do it, then let's do it. But that's the problem. See, we didn't have the resources, and the people that work in America, they get paid good wages. So anyone running a business, what are they going to do? Well, I can have this product built in China or Japan for pennies on the dollar. Well, how much will it cost me if I have this factory over here do it? Oh, well, that's in America, and that's going to cost you probably $1,000 just for each unit to have it made. You know, $1,000 or pennies on the dollar. You know, what's it going to be? You know, and that's the problems we're running in. Plus, we don't have the resources. We don't have the steel mills, and we don't have the things we need to build this stuff. You know, is it possible? Yes, with the resources and the right flight control programming and everything. Yes, very easily to be done. Could be done cheap, but we have to change the way of what we do. We outsource everything instead of insourcing it. America is not what it used to be when we used to have steel mills everywhere pumping out iron, pumping out steel, plastic factories and stuff. We don't have that no more. So it's hard for us to do anything. And when we do want to do it, it costs a lot of money to do it. So we got to make changes. They keep talking the greatest country in the world. Oh, we are far from being the greatest country in the world. Can we be the greatest country in the world? Yes, we can make it very safe for Americans, very safe. But there's certain things we'd have to give up. I'd give it all up if my kids can go to school and not worried about being bullied, beat on, shot, killed, raped. If they only could go to school and learn and feel comfortable in school to want to learn, well, that's worth giving up some things. If it's would I give up some things to make sure the citizens can walk down the streets in their neighborhoods without being killed, shot, stabbed? Innocent people being killed that ain't even doing nothing wrong. They're sitting in their house watching TV, or the kids are playing in their bedroom and a stray bullet comes through the wall and kills a kid. You know, do you want to give up some stuff for that to make sure you can live peacefully in your own neighborhoods and your kids can sleep in their beds without getting shot through a window or a wall or something? Well, yeah, anybody with the right mind, any godly person would say, yeah, we'll give up some things. But in America, it's all about, well, that's just America. That's your freedoms. That's no. I don't think you people know what the best of the best is. Could this country be great? Sure, it could. But there are things we are going to have to give up. You can't have 50 cows running down the streets of the city. You can't have automatic weapons all over the city and in the schools and in the streets. And, there are things that these people will have to give up. And what gets me is they care only about themselves and their freedoms before their families and their children. Give me that M16 and we'll make sure your kids are protected and safe, and we will patrol your neighborhoods where you won't need that F16 or that M16 rifle or M15 or M1 rifle or whatever semi-automatic. Would I give up one of my assault rifles if I knew I can go to bed at night and not have anybody breaking in my door and trying to kill or steal, or the kids are safe when they go and play in the front yard or the backyard? Well, sure, I'll give you one of my M16s. I'll give you 2 of them. There you go. But there's things you people are going to have to sacrifice. And you think your freedoms, we don't have to sacrifice nothing. No, you don't. You don't have to do nothing, and things will keep going the way they are, and kids will keep coming up missing, and people will keep on dying in the streets over innocent bull crap. So it's really who's got the brains. Well, you ain't this shit. You ain't a patriot. You ain't this. You ain't that. No, I'm a person with a disability, and God has given me the gift that I know there's ways around this madness that you people want to live in and you continue to live in. And you don't want that rhythm to change. You don't want that pattern to change. You don't want the chain to break because you like it that way. You like the zoo. You like the madness. You like the deception, but we don't. I don't. So things will go on the way they have been going on until they break the chain. Only if we lived in the times of the Bible where it was real, where every man loved each other. Brotherly love, whatever it was, but we don't live in them times. We don't live in them times. I'm sorry. I wish we did, but we don't. Maybe one day we will. Maybe one day we will. But for now, it's back to the madness, back to the killing fields, back to the school shootings, back to the school rapes and killings and drugs and guns and all the crap, the gangs and it's back to that. Can America be the greatest country in the world? Sure. Can it be one of the safest in the world? Sure. We got to stop spending so much time in other countries. Start worrying about this one. Yeah, I got ketchup and I also got ranch dressing for the onion rings. No, I've even seen tuna fish, instead of using mayonnaise, ranch dressing. Now, I know what you're going to say. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? No, ranch dressing and tuna. Got my green smoothie and hiked out in God's country today. Well, God bless you. There's nothing wrong with a green smoothie. I had one last night. Celery, kale, blueberries, cranberry juice, and orange juice. Pineapple orange juice. I had me a cup last night. Nothing wrong with the greens. Oh, God. Oh, God. Nah. You know, I asked myself, why am I living like a rock star anymore when I'm not a rock star anymore and I don't have no money? Why do I live like a movie star and I don't have no contracts with nobody and I got no money? Why am I up till 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning watching YouTube when I ain't got no money? You know? God, I wish I was back 20 years ago, home, IROC, Trans Am with T-tops. Couple trucks, a nice acre and a half of land, a shed with a couple tractors. Then a couple dogs. Life was good. Life was good. One operation and next thing you know, child support and everything's gone. Everything gone. Gone. Oh, I miss the fruit trees in my backyard. I miss the deer coming up and eating the fruit in the morning. Yeah, I miss waking up in the morning and just watching the dew on the grass dry before I had to go to work. You know? No, I got to get a house. I got to get out of this place. I got to get out of this place. If it's the last thing I ever do, I got to get out of this place. Girl, there's a better life without you. I know them are not the lyrics. It's supposed to be, girl, I know there's a better life for me and you. But I threw it in there, girl, there's a better life without you. And I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm just having a good day. I don't know. That tuna fish sandwich was pretty good. I'm going to make me another one, have some onion rings. I'll be back later. Bendejo, do you have food? Bendejo, how old are you? How old are you? Are you 12, 13? I hope not. Somebody told me, you got to watch out. These people on YouTube might be kids. What do you mean, kids? Kids. What do you mean, kids? It's 10 o'clock at night. They should be in bed sleeping. They got school tomorrow, right? There is school still, right? Yeah, you don't know. Where did you live when you had your house? Right here in town, Bendejo. When I had my house, I was only 10 minutes outside of my town. It's all farm field out there. And where I lived was farm field all around, but behind my house was DNR property where the deer came through. And they would go across because it was all wooded. So it went from DNR property to swampland and trees to a cornfield. And then across the cornfield, there was, I don't know, 20, 30 acres, 50 acres of cornfield. And then there would be more trees. So it was a path that the deer ran. So, no, I only lived 5 minutes away from where I live right now. just on the outskirts of town. It's a small town. You know, there's one little grocery store. There's 4 gas stations. There's 1 McDonald's, and there's a Subway, and that's it. And there's a bunch of banks. We got 1, 2, 3. There's 4 banks in town, and there's like nobody in town. We did have a little Chinese place right on the corner called the Wok or whatever it was. I don't even know if that place is still open. It's a small town. You know, we used to have a Taco Bell inside the gas station, but they shut the Taco Bell down. Even Taco Bell was like, there ain't no money here. It's a small town. It is a small town, but we don't have the problems that these bigger places have, like Delphi, Lafayette, Fort Wayne, Angola. You know, them are the hot spots for the bad stuff happening, you know. We don't have that trouble out here. Thank God, you know. Thank God. But no, at Bendejo, I only lived, I don't know, 5 minutes away from here, maybe 8 minutes away from where I live right now. And it was a acre and a half of land, beautiful land. And right behind my house was the DNR property. So I didn't have to worry about people moving in there or anything. It was a nice place. I wish I still had it, but all it takes is one little thing to go bad, and you'll lose everything, the cars, the trucks, everything. But everything I had was used. You know, I buy brand new. It's got to look good. It's got to look good and run good, but it might be used. It's like my guitars. If I buy a guitar, it's got to look good. It's got to look like it's brand new, but it's used. You know, that Epiphone there that I got, that was used. My Epiphone Masterbuilt, that was used. That Kramer guitar there, that was used. The car I drive is used, but looks brand new. A lot of people comment on it. It's a nice looking car. What year is it? 2015. How many miles? 50,000. Are you kidding me? No. I take care of it. I've had it for about 6 years. No, 5 years now. I don't know much on it. I take care of things. Buy used as long as it's in good condition. Well, if it looks good, drives good, I'm in. If it saves me money, I'm in. I can't afford no $80,000 sports car. If I could, I would, but I can't. I lived right here at Bendejo when I had my house. That was, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago. All I did was move from there, about 8 minutes away, into town. And hopefully I move out. Hopefully I find another place like where I lived, where I don't have people all over the place. And and you have a yard you can take care of, you know. I got 2 tractors sitting inside my shed right now. that I haven't drove. One of them I haven't even fired up in probably 8-10 years. It's just been sitting in my shed. The other one I drove around and cut grass with, my other tractor. My other tractor looks like a brand new Craftsman, but it's just been sitting in my shed. I bought it right after I bought my house. That was, I don't know, 2000 and I don't know. I lived in my house for, I don't know, I forget how long I was there. Not as long as I was here. I know that. But you know what? You know what I always say? I got nothing to hide, man. I ain't got nothing to hide. That's why people you let people know too much about yourself. Well, I got nothing to hide. I'm not worried about nothing. You know? Well, you shouldn't let the police come over. Why? If they came here today knocking on the door, we want to take a look around. Go right ahead. I got nothing to hide. Go ahead. Even if I did smoke cannabis, I wouldn't worry about the police coming here looking for it. You know, the only time even if I did cannabis, you know, I'm not that dumb to have all kinds of cannabis laying around or, you know, buy a bunch of cannabis. That's just, you know, I ain't got nothing. Cannabis is baby crap these days. Ain't it funny how they want to go ahead and they're so worried about cannabis. And I keep telling these people, cannabis is the worst or the least of our problems. Cannabis ain't making these people go out and kill little kids, you know, terrorizing the world. It ain't cannabis. Well, it's the dealers or whatever, you know. Well, maybe it is the dealers or whatever, but it ain't the actual cannabis itself, which a lot of people don't realize. We used to harvest cannabis all the time in America. That was a big, 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 big growing plant in America at one time. Used to have fields and acres and acres and acres of cannabis. They used to make paper out of it, rope, clothes. It was very efficient, very strong, and very cheap. You know, at one time, this country mass produced it. And now all of a sudden, people are, yeah, cannabis is bad. No, cannabis, I don't even worry about cannabis. If I was a police officer and pulled someone over and I found an eighth of cannabis on them or whatever, here's a ticket, kid. Don't be driving around with that crap. Get home and whatever, you know. Well, unless he was underage. If he was underage, that's a different story. But an adult driving around with cannabis or whatever, you know, here's a ticket, go home, you know. It's not like they're out slaughtering these. Why do they not want to lock up the people slaughtering and killing people? But yet they want to go after somebody that smokes a doobie or has a gram of cannabis or whatever. Baby crap. It's part of their racket. They don't go after the killers because the killers shoot back. A stoner ain't going to do nothing. He's going to ask you if you got a ho-ho or a cupcake. Or he might ask, you got something to drink? I got cotton mouth, you know. So I'm not worried. And I think Indiana, it's about time Indiana makes it legal. They surrounded Indiana. It's legal everywhere. It's legal in Kentucky. It's legal in Tennessee. It's legal in Ohio. It's legal in Chicago, and it's legal in Michigan. And here we are in the middle of this, and they're making tons of money. And Indiana ain't making a dang dime. Our roads need fixed out here and all kinds of crap. So I've been waiting for 1100 since beginning of October for the CA stimulus payment, and I never got it. Bendejo, are you on disability? If you're on disability, it should have been automatically deposited into your checking account. There is talk that stimulus checks are about to go out, so you might get one, Bendejo. They might be behind, and actually, the stimulus check that they're talking about on YouTube is actually the stimulus check that is going out to the people that did not receive one yet. So that might be the stimulus checks that are going out. Bendejo, keep checking your mail. And if you have a bank account and you're on disability or anything or retired and you're getting any kind of supplement from the government, it should automatically be deposited into your checking account. Check the mail too, Bendejo. Don't check every piece of mail to make sure that you don't throw it away, because there is rumors going around that they sent out these new cards and your money will be deposited onto that card. So you got to check I check the mail all the time now. They're driving us nuts with all this paperwork. Not on disability. I didn't do a drunk backflip off the water tower. No, not on disability. I didn't do a drunk backflip off the water tower. You did? So you did do a drunk backflip off the water tower. We used to climb the water tower and the giant towers with the they were for transmitting radio signals back in the day. They used to have, where I lived in Illinois, they had this giant tower. And it had cables coming down from it anchored into the ground. Oh, the thing was way up there, man. It was up there. So they used to climb that. And then we had a water tower that we used to climb out there. An old dilapidated one before they took it down. But yeah. So you didn't do that, but him saying he didn't do that means he did do it. He probably got drunk and did a backflip off of the water tower and messed himself up. So he might be on disability. If that's the case, your check should be coming in the mail or in your bank account, Bendejo. Keep checking your bank account and keep checking your mail. They were running behind. So that check that's going out might be to catch everybody up with the stimulus, but there is talks of another stimulus check coming. Your house had a wide driveway, enough to park. Well, there was some pavement. I had a guy come in and do pavement, enough to get 2-3 cars in there, it was, I don't know, maybe, 13 foot wide. And, big enough for me to get 2-3 cars right in behind each other. But when I had my Trans Am and my IROC, my truck, I would just pull my cars over to the side in the grass underneath my trees, and they would sit there. The IROC did, and then I had a 79 Trans Am. And they, I parked that over to the side and just kept the vehicles that I drove to work, my truck, in the driveway. Don't worry, I'm going to get out of here. I'm, there's new programs now out. And now they're saying, you can get a home if you want. And, well, yeah, if I can find one I can afford. Everything has gone up. They got houses out here built from 1900s that they want big money for. And you're like, it was built in 1900. Everything has gone up, even property, homes. I'll tell you, a big crash is coming. A big crash. Oh, yeah, it was an acre and a half, Bendejo. I don't know if you know how big an acre and a half of land is. Yeah, it was a big. Yeah, I can get loud out there if I wanted to. Well, I had go-karts and, my closest neighbor was my brother, who lived in the house next to me. And then on the other side of that house was another house that my mother lived in. And then next to her house, well, that was my grandfather's house. So everyone lived right on that road. And we got lucky. And, the whole family lived in one area. And it was good times, everybody living right next to each other. But that's how families should live. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at one time, 5 houses on that road. It's valued at $300K now. What, my property? No, it ain't. No. I don't think so. I mean, you have to remember, Bendejo, that was only, 10 years ago, 12 years ago that I had that house? I don't, unless they tore down the old place and built a new place, then, yeah, I could see it being worth maybe $300K, but even the acre of land ain't worth that much out here. Land ain't worth that much out here. I can get an acre of land right now for probably, I don't know, $5,000, $6,000. I could buy 16 acres right now if I want for $37,000. I think my payments on it would be $257. Land ain't much out here, dude. It's valued at $300K now. That's what it shows. Well, how would you know even where I live, Bendejo? How would you even know where I lived or what the color of my house or whatever? I don't know. Are you talking my house or your house, Bendejo? 50-50. What the heck is that? You're thinking of 5150 Eddie Van Halen's studio. I'm in Indiana, Bendeo. I'm not in California. That ain't my property. 50-50 ain't my property. I don't know. Maybe it's somebody I know. I don't know. Could be. No, my property wasn't 50-50. Yeah. No, I don't know. I got shammed out of my property. When I bought my property, it was supposed to be a fixed rate. By the time I got the paperwork back, it was a balloon mortgage. And there was no way I could. I was like, what are you talking? Balloon mortgage? Well, yeah, every year your rent will go up for so long, and then after that time, then you can refinance it. Oh, I got taken big time on my property. I got taken big time on my property. They seen me coming. They said, this kid's an idiot. But by the time I found out about it, the paperwork was all drawn up and everything. I started contesting it. Uh, right away, I was like, this ain't right, and they're like, well, too late now. It's already done. That's what it's got to be. And then I was like, all right, F yous then. That's the way it's going to be. And I had people start looking into it. And the more I looked into it and called banks and everything and trying to figure it out, what went wrong, and, uh, it just went nuts. I was calling banks, Wachovia, Wells Fargo, they bought it up real quick, sold it. And then I'd have to call another bank to try and hunt down then I would have to call Wachovia, and then they sold it again. They bought a package of like 150 homes, mortgages, or like 1,000. I don't know how many you said. They said they bought a whole bunch of them. And it went cuckoo. It went nuts. Uh, and then they just started selling it to all kinds of. It was just follow the mortgage, And then I talked to some guys, and they were like, well, you wouldn't have been able to remortgage anyways, because they only remortgage for that kind of a property and home for only so many years, and then after that, there's no money in it, so they ain't going to be able to refinance you, and they should have told you that in the first place. And I was like, no, they didn't mention that to me at all. But hey, you live and you learn. I lost my home. Had to get an operation. I became deathly sick all of a sudden, mysteriously. Uh, Almost died. And now I lost everything, and they keep telling me, hey, you're lucky alive. You're lucky you're alive. And they always had this, and these people, oh, we're bankers. We can help you, buddy. And they're your buddies all of a sudden. And then you got to pay them money. Well, you're going to have to pay this amount for us to look at it and everything. So there ain't nothing they could have done. But what they did was suckered me more out of money to look into something that they knew they couldn't fix because it was a sham in the first place. And hey, you live and learn. You live and learn. But now they're telling me, now you can get a home. The government's giving loans to people with disabilities and people that can take care of a property or something, or now you can get a home or whatever. All right, well, I ain't getting into no $200,000 or $300,000 home. I'll tell you that much. I'm gonna be every penny I got going to pay a mortgage payment, and then you got to worry about No, I need something about 80 grand, 100 grand. I'll be good. I'll be able to afford that. Anything more than that, I don't think so. I wouldn't want to. I probably could afford it, but I don't want to. I might just hold out for one of Elon Musk's $50,000 two-story homes with solar panels. I'm not sure countrywide. They might have been one of the people that had it. I know it went from one mortgage company and then it jumped to another mortgage company and then it jumped to another mortgage company. I know Wells Fargo had it for a while. I know definitely Wachovia had it for a while. And I remember watching the news. I remember watching the news one night and it popped up, flash bulletin, Wachovia Bank, the government FBI stormed the Wachovia Bank somewhere. And they were looking for paperwork and stuff. I don't know what the whole thing was about, but I remember coming home from work one night, turning on the TV, sitting in my house, and I've been calling all these bankers or banks trying to locate my mortgage. And it popped up, Wachovia was stormed by FBI agents and stuff. And then after that, that real estate crash happened. And I think that's what's going on today is a real estate crash. Why? Because they want so much money for these properties that have been sitting for many, many years. Vacant. Some of these properties been sitting for a year, got mold all over the sidings, the gutters are coming down or whatever. It ain't worth what they want for it, what the banks got into it or what the people owed on it. So therefore, they're never going to get their money out of it. So they're asking outrageous price for it. But it just ain't worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth the money. Some of these homes for sale, well, they're good homes, but they were built back in the 1900s and, need work on them and stuff like that. But hey, if there's people out there that got the money, they'll pay for it. Oh, it's cold out there, Ricky, ain't it? These guys are all out pendejos out in California. It ain't that cold. It's cold out here, man. I think yesterday and the day before was 10 below with that wind. We had a 25-mile-an-hour steady wind gusting up to 45. It was every bit of 10 below the other night. Ricky, did you guys get that wind up there in Michigan and the cold? We got it here. It was colder than crap. And it's cold out right now. All right, folks, I got to go. I'll be back later. I got to make some food. I'll talk to you guys later. Be safe.